What's going on, everybody? Garrett from the Nice Flipping Choice channel back again. I'm about to start doing something a little bit different. I'm about to do a weekly vlog, or as much as I can weekly. One of my new glamping projects I'm working on. I think this is going to be a good insight to like the week routine that somebody takes that's building one of these. What are some different things I do each day? What are some different things I have to look out for? You'll see a lot of different things that come up that I wasn't expecting. And yeah, we'll learn together. Let's do it. I'm gonna take it back a little bit for the first week because I've already brought the property that I'm working on right now. It's about 10 plus acres near Lake Livingston, Texas, which is between one of the biggest natural man-made lake, the biggest, that's not even correct, natural man-made, the biggest man-made lake in Texas, and the Sam Houston National Forest. It's a great area, about 5 minutes to each one. Unrestricted areas, you can see, have tons and tons of land. I do have a house on there as well too. Reason I did the house, because this is how I was able to get the loan for the land. We'll talk about that more in a different part, a little thing called land hacking. So the very first thing I did this week is I've been trying to figure out how to get power back to where I'm going. I already have power up at the house up there. Been working with the local electric company, been having some tree trimmers, tree cutters come out here, give me some prices. I did a lot of this research and I have another video I'll link up above, but this has been really the planning where I get the exact quotes and things like that too. So plan all this ahead. You'll have to know all the restrictions. You'll have to know how you're gonna get electricity, how you're gonna get water out there. Don't just jump into it and then try to figure it out. I looked around for about a year before I found the right places for different reasons, different counties I like to work in, different things like that. One of the first things I did right when I got this property though, is I knew I was gonna have to get a water well out to where I'm going. So I did my research, found a very reputable water company. One place you can find things, if you move into a new area, you don't know much about it, join some Facebook groups. A lot of these people are local, they love to answer questions, they love new people in the community, especially if you're something contributing to it. And you'll get great recommendations. I got great recommendations for damn near everything I've been using so far. Electricians, well people, driveway, plumbers, everything in between. I'm gonna end up having two different properties. So I'm gonna split the water coming from this well. It's gonna be smaller properties, so we'll be able to handle it. Initial quotes I was getting between about $12,000 to $15,000. I ended up finding a really good company. They actually did it for about $10,000 by the time they got out here. They quoted us at 12, didn't have to drill as far as they needed to for the water, so it ended up being about $10,000. Big expense up front, but I'll be able to not have that expense going forward to the other dome sites I build right here. Also, I've been looking out for contractors. One thing when you get out into the boonies out here is finding good contractors a lot harder. I'm from Houston. I've flipped houses and been an investor and real estate agent there for a long time. Finding contractors out there are a dime a dozen. Good ones, you know, I use word of mouth, but out here, it's a lot harder to get people out here. Luckily, I did research for a long time and did end up finding the contracting company I want to go to, and I'll jump back into the studio in a little bit and explain how I found the contractor I wanted to use and what are some things I was looking for.
What's up, folks? It's Garrett from the Nice Flipping Choice channel. A little bit of a different style video than I normally do. I'm about to start a weekly vlog series on building this glamp site. Something small, nothing too crazy when I talk about stuff. 5 to 10 minute episodes every single time. So let me know in the comments below after you like and subscribe if there's different styles of things you want to see as I go through this whole process and what you're interested in learning, because we're going to learn it along together. I'm going to get into how I found this property and some of the research I did, but I'm going to start going over how I even came up with my plan first to even acquire this property and the steps I took before I even led up to this week one. Now, the first thing I had to do was commit to this project. This project is not going to be anything easy, and it is time consuming. Luckily, a lot of people may not know this, but I'm a music producer and a DJ from Houston, but I also do some real estate projects on the side.
My name is Track Sounds. I am Maxo Cream's official DJ. Y'all ready to rock out Maxo Cream? 1, 2, 1, 2. It's about that time.
I travel a lot for DJing, and I also, work in the studio quite a bit, but it is flexible because I do make my own hours and I am my own boss, luckily. One thing about that is I have started to dedicate a lot more time out here before when I go back to Houston to work on sessions that I need to do or other things that I have going on. I had a few Airbnbs in Houston, some smaller condos, and a condo I actually lived in. I decided to sell those and start investing in this major property. I knew I was going to be able to get a conventional loan on a property, so I had to find a decent house and then have land on it. That was the main thing I was looking for because I wanted to start this glamping site. I didn't have the free cash to just go out and buy a bunch of land. It's very hard to get a loan on land because then you got to do a whole lot of other things with it. Best thing that I learned about was doing this thing called land hacking that I think I took from Kai Andrews, who I watch a lot. Shout out to him. This is a great way to be able to get started in this space and get a loan for a relatively low interest rate. Now, don't do anything mortgage fraud. Don't, if you're saying you're owner occupying it, then do it. So initially I started with a little bit less land than I thought I was going to do, but as I started to realize that I needed more land up front, I decided to bite the bullet and go a little bit bigger on the land side. The reason for that is I knew I had expansion in mind. One side is really good, you'll probably get close to breaking even, but it's when you start to hit that tipping point of 3 to 4 different sites, because you have enough land to sustain it and sustain the experience that is going on, that's when the money really starts to trickle in on all the calculations I had running and all the different people that I've seen do it. Now, I ended up deciding on using geodesic domes. I personally like them. I personally like the aesthetic. I think there's a lot of different themes and things you can do with those. There's a few different options I ran through, from yurts to shipping containers to teepees to tree houses to everything in between. I landed on domes. I do plan on doing a few different style shipping container homes, possibly, maybe some tiny homes, but I'm in the early stages of it and I do have 2 domes planned already, and then I do plan on probably doing a shipping container after that. I did a lot of research on the different counties around the area. I did find a place that a lot of people want to go during different times of the year. I'm 5 minutes to one of the biggest national forests around here, and I'm 5 minutes to the biggest man-made lake in Texas, Lake Livingston. So there's a lot of different activities, and I also will provide a lot of activities on the land. I did not get a lakefront property for a few different reasons. One, the land over there is just really overpriced in my opinion for what you'd be able to get up. And the other issue is all of them seem to have HOAs or even if they allow Airbnbs, it seems very strict with different things that might go on. I wanted to find a place that was unrestricted, and I was able to pretty much do exactly what I wanted to with my build projects. There's a few counties around me when I was looking at these areas. The lake is massive, so I was traveling all around trying to find the right one. I got in the area that I really wanted, which is Cold Spring, Texas, about an hour away from Houston, which is what I really wanted to be, because I feel like there's not much competition in the area that I'm trying to pinpoint and what was already out. I ended up choosing on this particular county, San Jacinto, because they seem to be the most lax on permitting and allowing all types of other things that would be able to go on with the Airbnb and businesses I want to build up going forward. Check the zoning and check with the counties, call them ahead, even, maybe tell them about what you were planning on doing. See what the reaction is and see what they say. This will give you a good estimation of how easy it is going to be dealing with them, and find areas that already have a lot of short-term rentals because they have been a destination like this for a long time. People having vacation homes and things like that there. I used AirDNA a lot to help me analyze different sites too, help me give different rents, different things I would be thinking. And I also used Airbnb. I was really researching my competition, seeing where I thought there was holes in the market all over Texas and the South in different areas, not just in the area that I would be able to live in, because I thought if I found another area that made sense, I would try to make it happen or, go with the next step there. But I ended up being able to find the area that I personally thought made sense for me, according to the competition that's out there and the experiences I'm going to want to provide. And the last thing that really matters about this site and how I got it is how exactly I found it. Now, I am a licensed real estate agent in Texas, so that helped me tremendously in finding this, because I was able to look at as many places I wanted. I was able to use different analytics that are not available to the public, that I was just able to, spend on my own time and not have to rely on somebody else to give me. And I was also able to collect my own commission when I bought the property, which gave me some upfront money to even continue the project even more. Now, I do realize not everybody's licensed or even has the desire to. I have been for about 5 years, and it's something that I actually do as well. So it made sense for me. I personally recommend it if you plan on investing a lot more, but if you have a couple projects that's probably not in your best interest, find you a really good realtor, and this will be able to help you start pinpointing a lot of these things and show them how serious you are by getting pre-approved first. Now, I already touched on a lot of things about the county, restrictions, zonings, all those things like that went very into my decision. But one of the big things that I really wanted was there were certain features that I was trying to find. I wanted it not too secluded from, towns that it felt like, you were an hour to 2 hours away from any civilization, but also wanted to provide the experience that you were going to be immersed in nature and be able to get away in a luxury setting, but still feel like you're basically in the middle of nowhere when you finally got to the property. I wanted a lot of trees. I didn't want many neighbors nearby. I was hoping for neighbors that maybe have cattle or land or something like that, which I actually was able to find. I was even able to find a place with a small creek behind me that's pretty popular called Huffman's Creek. I also found a place with a water feature that is a pond. I personally am gonna, up it a little bit, do some different dirt things, build out a little deck into it and a fountain possibly in it. But these type of features are gonna be able to help you keep your guests entertained. There's so many different things I can do with the pond. I have it stocked now. They'll be able to fish off of it. I can have a little kayak action on it or a little small boat that people can kind of just go out in. I do plan on putting like some different small trails, some barbecue pits, some seating areas, maybe a floating bed, a hammock, different things like that. I don't want to keep rambling on because I was trying to keep this short, but weekly vlog number 1, be back soon with number 2. Let me know if y'all have any questions or comments below. Like and subscribe like I asked earlier. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.